Sup, dude?
What's
Sup, dude?
Yep.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Time for some interior stuff for the Nissan Hardbody. We're going to be doing actually a couple of things. We have a ton of wiring to do. We have the dash and center console to paint, and we're finally going to be hooking up the gauges. We have 3 gauges we're going to be wiring up today, and our plan is to use some ABS plastic to install the gauges on this bezel for the radio and the AC. Since we're not going to be using AC, we're going to be using that specific spot to set up some nice gauges, and it's going to look really good in there. Junior was able to get this piece of ABS plastic for like $9 here locally. We're going to be using it to cut out the holes for the gauges and then putting it in right here, because I feel like that's going to be the best spot. Oil pressure, wideband, which is air to fuel, and then we have the boost gauge, which is one of the most important ones, right? Trying to see how much boost we got going on.
So we're gonna put the ABS plastic in the back. We're gonna cut out the holes like how we have on here, and then we'll figure out how to mount the ABS plastic on the bezel. This is what I was thinking, is either I can run only 3 gauges here so it doesn't look like
Too cluttered?
too cluttered, and then I can run like part of the boost gauge, I can run it on the driver's side.
I have an AEM gauge just sitting here that I have not used yet. So we can use this as a reference.
Maybe here like this, and just put ABS plastic.
Oh yeah, make a solid piece since we're
Make a
not running
solid
AC.
piece, yeah, and just run it here like this.
That'd be perfect. We're gonna be wiping it all down, cleaning up the dash as much as we can, because we have some leather paint that we got from SEM, which I recommend to everybody because they make really good spray cans. And this is gonna be the gloss black. We've done a couple of leather painting ourselves back in the day. Pretty ghetto, but this is gonna be the best way because the leather on this dash is actually really clean. And I'm gonna have to figure out this wiring mess because we had some issues, guys. Some really bad issues.
We took off the dash, and then I fucking seen some of the wires were cut. And it's crazy because like when I took off the dash and I only seen a little bit of wires. And then Jeremiah was here and I was like, dude, come, like half of my harness is cut. He opened it up and I'm like, dude, that's a fucking nightmare.
It's so much wires. All the wires with the heat shrink and the tape, those are all the wires that were cut. Seeing a half of the body harness get cut and I have to repair all of that, I was like, great, it's gonna be so much work to do. But at the same time, there's nothing we can do about it, right? One of the main reasons we kept this motor was due to the fact that the engine harness isn't removable, it's part of the whole main body. So we weren't gonna replace the whole harness. We have so much modifications done to the engine harness side that it's gonna be pointless, right? Luckily, they're all different colors, and the ones that were the same color had different stripes on them. And I used those BMW connectors that I love, and everything came out perfect. It's always blessings in disguise because we weren't planning on doing any of the wiring yet, and this pushed us to do that. So now we got the whole wiring harness stripped, and it may look messy, but everything is very simple now that we have everything removed, because before it was just a little bit of everything going everywhere, and now it's going to save us a lot of time when we want to extend wires, because now we can just take the individual connector and free up so much wire slack. We want to minimize as much cutting as possible and wire extension. And I really liked how I taped up the engine harness side, because look how simple it is going to the firewall, and then it just branches out to the rest of the harness.
I was like all stressed out. I was like, fuck, bro, it's just gonna be a nightmare to fix.
We
I
got
thought
it.
it was gonna take like weeks to fix it, but Danny came straight from work over here and he's like, don't stress it, we'll knock it out. And yeah, he knocked it out.
Gotta get shit done, bro.
Yes, sir.
We gotta get shit done, boys. We were not going to skip this video to fix some stupid wiring mistakes. Fuck that. We're gonna get shit done, because that's how we do it here. And then we got the gas lighter over here. You guys have been having your issues lately. I don't know the tension that's been building up lately, but what's up, dog? We got too much dogs here.
Yeah, we got how many?
Martin and Jeremiah are super close to getting this LS335 running. This thing's looking sick. And I thought my wiring was bad. A lot of the stuff on this car is CAN. I mentioned it a lot in my other videos. You have computers talking to each other. Instead of having just a bunch of wires, you have one wire that's allowing 2 computers to talk to each other in like Morse code. You guys want to simplify it. And it tells the computer, hey, turn this on. Hey, turn this off. My favorite part is these paddle shifters.
A lot of horsepower here, brother.
Okay, so super simple to set up the harness, guys. There's already a harness made for all these gauges. You have one to connect to the gauge, one for the sensor, depending on what it is, whether it's coolant or oil. And then you have 4 wires. All you need is power and ground. What we're gonna be using is some fuse taps. We're gonna be tapping into some ignition sources. Super simple. Say you wanna turn on the headlights and you want the gauges to dim, you can wire that up as well. But ours, the moment you turn on the car, they're just gonna be lit up full brightness. That's how we do it around here. Right now, I'm just gonna be extending some wires, having all that set up, and let's get these working, because what I'm gonna be able to do is use my power probe and be able to see them turn on. Make sure everything's good.
Little motivation after that harness being cut.
Yeah, bro, you were beat this week, dude. Just in case. Knowing that Junior is a bodywork expert, he's already had this thing sanded, primered, prepped like 3 times already.
It smells like leather. For the first coat, I might just like fog everything in, because I don't want to pack it with paint right away, because then it's just gonna run and react. Just give it like a light pass. Let it dry for like 10 minutes after this.
This thing looking tits already, dude.
You're good.
The harnesses for the gauges have some extra wire now. Now we just have to figure out where we're gonna be putting some of the sensors at. For the air to fuel, we just have to have our buddy Native, when he's doing all the fabrication, just walled up a bunk. That's super simple. When it comes to this guy right here, this is going to be the boost pressure sensor. It is pretty big, which sucks because we want everything to be nice and tucked. But luckily on this intake manifold, there is a port on the inside towards the fuel rail, so we can actually sneak it in there. It's gonna be pretty simple because we can just tuck the sensor and then have this harness on top connecting to the fuel injectors. We're not gonna be using the oil pressure sensor from the car anymore. We're gonna be using the gauge because that's gonna be way more accurate. Luckily, it's all MPT thread, so we're gonna be using the factory location, and then we just need to run the harness from here down to the firewall hole. You can handle the rest, right?
Yeah, I got it. You guys will.
Cool. Fine. Later.
See,
That fool couldn't wait to leave to go with his girl.
to leave us, huh? Fool, you keep moving it.
What do you want to do?
Hold this.
Okay,
Don't let the
there. Are you happy? So you're trying to make a template?
Yeah. Let's cover it that.
So why don't we just use paper?
Huh? What do we use paper?
Why don't we just use this paper?
Yeah, duct tape and papers.
What are you talking about?
Damn, why are you mad at Nick again?
Fuck that fool.
What did he do to you, bro?
What? What happened?
Was it a bust? Or did it come out good?
It's a little crooked, but we'll fix it. Cause it's gonna get covered like this.
Then you'll be fine.
Yeah, so you won't be able to see it.
Dude.
No, seriously, that looks good. What do you think?
What's going on here?
Just trying to organize the whole harness. Because obviously we're not gonna know exactly where everything's gonna go. So we already know where we want the harness. Fuck, harness. Oh my god, bro. I'm too tired, bro. This wiring's frying my brain. So we already know where we want the harness. We already have the harness set up where we want it. Why the fuck you laughing, dog? Is that much of an issue right now? Is that much of an issue?
Sound like you said it again.
Now that we figured out where the harness is going to be mounted, everything else is going to be easier. We have the harness for the stereo, cigarette lighter, things like that. That's going to be branching off towards that way. Then we have the rest of the harness. So this is going to be going to almost everything else. So headlights, engine harness, battery, things like that that we're going to need. So now we just have to branch those off. Once those are branched off, then it's a matter of extending the harness. But before we extend any harness, we want to make sure we have it exactly where we want it, and we can put the dash on without interference. There you go, trying to convince us to get some Kirkleys.
It would work.
We want some leather
You want,
or
like,
cloth
more, like-
seats. This harness is really cleaning up nice.
Damn, bro, this is way too long.
The guys at We Are Likewise have an amazing shifter setup with an extension. I'll show you exactly what we're getting. I wish we had it. I'll definitely take some pictures once we put the interior in and have that shifter on. This is the exact shifter setup we're going with. So it's gonna be an extension. It's adjustable.
Oh, who'd you go with again?
Likewise. The best.
Compared to how I was before and finding that it was cut, like now the way you separate everything, it looks like less confusing.
The whole point is having the harness accessible and easy to get to, especially with the relays. If we ever need to pull relays, check them. So everything is pretty much bolted up right. They came out good. What do you think?
Yeah.
So uncomfortable in this truck without any seats. I'm going to be testing all the gauges, so I'm going to be applying power to them. Sick. So I know obviously the wiring is good, super simple anyways, but now I just have to tap it into the fuse tap, and to be honest with you, I didn't need all this wire, which kind of sucks because I like extended everything, but I really don't need to because it's so close. I wish we were able to get more things painted, but for the most part, like everything's starting to come together and everything's starting to look better. What we're planning on doing for the floor once we get all this carpet stuff off is we want to Rhino-Line it. There's a Rhino-Line brand that makes sound deadening spray cans. Once we really tape everything up, that's when it's really going to look super clean.
Try this at home.
They're cuddling on the bike together. Oh, he's gonna catch him up. Oh shoot. Oh, you got scared.
I guess we did get a couple things done today. We got wire tuck done, wire repair, gauges are set up, we have the dash painted, and we took off the rest of the interior carpet, all that good stuff. Things are starting to slowly progress, so super excited for that. But that's pretty much it for today's video. So on that note, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
I'm taking over the channel. Welcome to Boosted Gentleman.